welcome to the podcast series of URA. Today we have invited Ujwal. He's a 2020 pass out from chemical engineering. So, hello Ujwal,
Hello,
how are you doing?
I'm great, doing just fine.
All right, so please introduce yourself. Tell us more about yourself.
First of all, thank you for having me here. Myself, Ujwal, and I completed my bachelor's in chemical engineering in 2020, and after that, I worked at AkzoNobel as a manufacturing engineer, graduate engineer trainee basically. And after like 8 months of working, I decided to start with my master's at the University of Waterloo. And now I'm currently working as a graduate research assistant in Professor Huck's lab at the university.
So, tell me, a lot of people are confused between various career choices. So, how do you decide when you decided that you want to pursue masters? Like, what made you, sure that you want to pursue masters?
Okay. So yes, many people. I also was confused when I started my bachelor's, and frankly, in my first year, I was not at all sure that I will be pursuing my master's. I had this thing like, okay, I have got a good university, I will be going for job, I will be getting a good package and all. But just things get along, and whatever you have interests in, that's what you will be doing in the future. So something like that happened with me. So in my first years of bachelor's, I was searching, I was kind of exploring different fields. So I started exploring a research field because that's what was the only option for me. So I worked under the guidance of one of the professor in my department. So I worked on a project, and it gave me some insights on how the research projects how they work, and what do we got to do, and how this whole research field is. So that's what happened in my first year, in the summers of my first year. Then after that, in my second year, I tried again. So again, there was only one option, which was doing a research intern. So again, I did a research intern at ICT Bombay. So while doing that also, like sometimes you get this feeling that yes, I'm kind of interested in research. So that's what I got in my second year. So then in second year, I started knowing that what would be good for me in the future. So would it be doing masters, or would it be going for a job? So it got clarified actually in my third year. So in my third year, I tried both. I sat for interviews for some of the companies who came for internships, and unfortunately, I just sat for one and I got rejected there. But I got one auspicious opportunity to work as a research trainee in university in Japan. It's Kagoshima University. So
Okay.
I took it as a positive thing, like okay, maybe I will be getting something out of that experience. So I went there, and that was like kind of a turning point for me, which from where I got to know that yes, I'm quite interested in some of the topics basically which I came across during my bachelor studies. And I wanted to like go deep and understand those topics better. So that's when I understood that okay, masters is something which I would surely have to do, and that's when I started preparing for masters. And yes, that was my journey.
Okay, that's really interesting. So, are you like, so have you joined your university yet, or are you waiting for any other applications to get accepted?
No, so I have already joined. I got acceptances from universities like Georgia Tech, University of Texas Austin, then University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and also University of Waterloo, Canada. So University of Waterloo, Canada was something where I got like fully funded opportunity, which was quite good. So I chose University of Waterloo for my master's degree.
Okay, that's cool. So, tell me, like I'm in my second year, so when should I start preparing for college admissions, and how I can build up my profile accordingly?
Okay. So there were two questions here. So I will start with the first one, when to start. Uh, Generally, if you are like now the next will be fall 2022. So if you're like planning to apply for fall 2022, you should at least start with each and every process 1 year prior to that. So this might be the time. Like okay, you can also start 1 or 2 months later, but as we say, early bird catches the worm. So the earlier you start, like more you get to explore. So you can start now for fall 2022, which is a year prior to that, and that will give you enough time to get done with all the processes. Like there is a lot of things. We have to study for GRE, we have to give the exam, then we have to give TOEFL or IELTS, the English proficiency test, then we have to write SOPs, the statement of purpose, which is quite hectic and it requires a lot of time. Then we have to get LORs, we have to apply. So a year prior would be the timeline which I would give you to generally consider before applying for the masters. That's first. Then second, I guess you asked me to how to build the profile, right?
Yeah,
So I would just go with my experience. So, as I told, I started in first year as a research trainee at one of the professors. So that was not something which I did to build my profile. You should not think like you should start building a profile. You just first start exploring. After exploring, surely you will get some experience, some like ideas or some uh, like you will get to know what you are actually interested in, and then you will start doing that. While doing all this, your experience and your profile itself will get built up. You won't need to work on that. You will actually, it will actually uh, build itself. So just start exploring and get as much experience as possible, as much explore as much as possible, and your profile will build itself.
yeah, that's fair enough. So, what strategy you follow to shortlist universities? How did you go about shortlisting universities?
Okay. So many people have different ideas. My ideas, my three categories which were important for me was: first, is it a good university? Second, am I eligible for it? And third, am I getting am I getting kind of funding there? So for the first one, which is it a good university? I followed this QS ranking. So based on that, we get to know that if the university is good or not. So that is one thing. Then eligibility, you can go to each and every university's website, and there they will be all the points will be jotted down, like how much CGPA you need, uh, what is the GRE score, minimum GRE score you should have, the minimum TOEFL scores that you should have. That will be mentioned there. Based on that, you get to know if you are eligible or not. Then third point is for funding. So for that, I started like that's only possible if you start mailing the universities or the professors a year back. So I started mailing professors and all, and also I kept a log in an Excel sheet, like which universities I have applied, not applied in the sense I'm like planning to apply for, then which professors in that university I have mailed, what are their responses. So it gave, this Excel sheet gave me like, there were reds and greens. So the greens gave me that okay, this universities I'm fulfilling the three criteria which I told you. So those were the universities where I can apply. Now I like categorize them into three categories. The first was ambitious, which is like okay, I might have chances, but it kind of it's kind of difficult also. So ambitious, then moderate, where okay, I have fair enough chances, and safe, where like okay, for sure I'm into that university. So this is how I shortlisted my universities, and I then finally submitted my applications.
All right. So, did you have like region or location in mind? Any particular region or location in mind?
Okay, so for sure, everyone told me that the job prospects and all are quite good in USA, and there are a lot of perks of studying in USA. But there was one thing which many people also told me, which was like the research aspects and the funding aspects are quite good if you are applying for universities in Canada. So I chose only this two countries and also one more, which was Netherlands, because the field which I chose for my specialization. The research going on in that country, Netherlands, is quite good. So these were the three countries which I like had in my mind, and I decided to choose universities from this, especially from these three countries. Uh, that were the main reason. Did I answer your question, or you want some more clarifications?
Yeah. It answered my question. So, what was your what were your specializations like you mentioned?
Okay, so my interest falls into environmental, or we can say sustainable development. So as of now, it's more focused towards water treatment, because as you all know that right now many people are facing problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
as an being an Indian also, I can see that I might be privileged, but there are many people who are facing a lot of problems, which kind of disheartens me but also motivates me to work towards a solution to solve this problem. So mm, one interest which I would like to go further in my studies also is water treatment. And there is one more thing, which is sonochemistry. It's kind of a process intensification technique. So these are the two major topics of my interest, which I would like to proceed in my future.
Okay. And as of now, you are pursuing water treatment.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So, can you tell me your application procedure and what were the events
Okay.
like in a chronological order?
Sure.
Like
Uh,
for someone who is doing it for the first time, so just to get an idea.
yes, I can totally understand, because there are just so many things, so people might get confused. So uh, there is a simple what we can say pathway for this. It starts with starting your studies for GRE. That's the first milestone which you have to cross. Uh, that's After that only you can move on to giving the GRE, giving the TOEFL, because after getting those scores only you can plan for which universities you can apply. Okay, so like if you as I will start with fall 2022. So as I've told, you should start a uh, year prior. So um, like you should start at least in April or May for your GRE studies. It will take at least 3 months if you are doing it along with your curriculum to actually complete your GRE studies in a proper way. So GRE studies, then you can give the GRE. You should get it done by August or September with your GRE exam. And alongside, you should start drafting your SOP, because SOP is something which is not like you will get it done in a first attempt. You will have to edit it so many times, and to make it as perfect as possible. So you should just start along with your GRE studies. You can start with your SOP. Then TOEFL won't take much time if you have already given TOEFL, or IELTS won't take much time if you are already given GRE. You just need to know what the paper pattern is and how much time you get for each section and all for TOEFL. But for GRE, you should be quite rigorous, because GRE is actually quite difficult exam, I would say. Not so difficult, but yes. Uh, Basically, you should prepare well for GRE, and you should make some strategies that if you're not good at one topic, at one section of that exam, then how should you tackle that? So that all these strategies will come out when you are practicing as much as possible, giving as many practice papers. So yeah, GRE done, TOEFL and SOP. It's still now in the progress. Okay, but GRE and TOEFL is done. So now. with the scores you have got, you can move on to SOP, like finalizing the SOP. So for finalizing, you can ask your professors, because they know quite well, because they are a professor now. So they also have supervised a lot of master students and even PhD students. So they know what the professors abroad or the universities abroad might be expecting from a master student. So you can ask them to help you out. Also, there might be some genuine friends which you can ask to suggest some like some points. And you can also ask some of your friends who are actually, or your family members who are actually have studied or are studying a masters abroad. So you can ask them for the editing. So that's about SOP. Then LORs you can get easily if you have from your professors, or also if you have already worked at a firm or an industry, you can ask from there. So that's about it. And then finally you can start with the uh, application, which generally the deadlines for most of the universities will be in December or at most January. Okay, if you are planning for fall term. So yes, just be careful about that.
All right, sure. So, as you mentioned that essays take time and they are very important. So, how did you go about writing your essays?
Uh, okay, so for essays, I followed a particular style. So I started with like, as we say that first impression is always the last impression. So the first paragraph I kind of made it not like introduction about me, but why I chose that field. In short, just in 5 to 6 line, why water treatment means a lot to me. So that's what I put in my first paragraph. After that, I started with my introduction, like I have studied chemical engineering and all, and about some of my hobbies, and what extracurricular activities I got involved into. Because masters, while you are applying for masters, they also see if you are active. So I also mentioned about that. After that, I moved on to the third paragraph, wherein I mentioned about the past experiences, and how it helped me uh, uh, to actually focus, to get delineate myself towards a particular topic. So that was the third paragraph. After that, I moved on to why I chose that particular university, to like basically to tell them that yes, you are, the university is quite good and it will be helpful for me to uh, uh, go further with my plans. So that's what I mentioned in my fourth paragraph. And in the fifth paragraph, I mentioned like how would I like to give back to the university, in what sense, because that also what matters a lot. So this was the style or the format which I used for my SOP. And this was something which was guided to me by one of us, my senior, who is not from our university, but he is from University of Mumbai. So he was the one who told me this format, and he was the one who actually helped me a lot with the editing. And also the professors also, they helped me a lot with the editing. So yes, if that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So, all these programs that you applied for, what is the duration? How
Uh,
long are they?
Okay, so basically the programs which I got admitted into, they are not course based, but rather they are thesis based, wherein I will have to work on a research project, and then finally I will have to write a thesis on it. So they are all 2 years program, wherein I will have to do coursework as well as research.
Okay, okay. And how much are they costing you?
To be frank, they are not costing me anything. Actually, they are paying me something, because I have got funding from my professor, which is not just taking care of my tuition fees, but also my extra expenses. But if I would have to give you a rough estimate, so my tuition fees is around 15 lakhs for per year, and the extra like expenses, like housing and all, that might be around 5 to 6 lakhs. I'm just estimating. It's around 600 Canadian dollars per term, and I have 3 terms, so you can 6,000. So it's around $18,000 per month, which will be sorry, $18,000 per year, Canadian dollar per year, which will be extra expenses. And as I've told, my tuition fees are around $23,000. So I guess you can do the math there.
Yeah, yeah.
But it will be total, it will be around 50 lakhs if you consider for, I'm giving you an estimate. So 50 lakhs at least for the 2 years, which you will have to pay.
Okay, including everything.
Yes,
So
at least.
that's and what about you? Like how much you are paying? Like how much will it cost for 2 years for you?
Uh, for yeah, that's what I told. If I won't have, I didn't get any fundings, then I would have to pay around 40 to 50 lakhs. But right now, I don't have to pay anything because I got some scholarships and fundings.
And in turn, you are actually earning.
Yes, there will be some kind of saving because the scholarship which I'm getting, it's more than the tuition fees and my extra expenses combined. So yeah,
That's really amazing.
kind of.
Okay, so how to go about finding scholarships?
Okay,
And if you know some, you can list some of the scholarships.
sure. There are three kind of ways how you can get the financial aid rather than like applying for a loan. So the first is you can ask or you can contact a professor. So if a professor considers you as a research assistant in his group, then he will be giving you some fundings. So it will be generally called as graduate research studentship. So that is one way. And just like that, if you apply and the professor accepts you, he also can he can put your application down for other kind of scholarships which the university provides to the graduate students. So in my case, I got graduate research studentship and also an RBC scholarship. So these two things which were provided to me. There are many scholarships as such. So that is the first way, like via professor. The second way to get financial aid would be if you're working, that specifically works for people who are working in industries or companies. So some corporate firms, they kind of help their employees to go for further studies. They will be taking care of all their requirements, all their fees, all their expenses. But there will be one thing, there will be a kind of bond which will be made, wherein you will have to promise to work with the firm, like, and just a kind of paying them back. So this will be one thing. So this is the second way. And the third way is there are many kind of scholarships which the Indian government provides. Uh, Actually, there is a answer on Quora which I have written. So if you guys can also go there, you can search. Some of them includes Fulbright Nehru Scholarship, Fulbright Kalam Scholarship, and I don't remember many of them as of now. But if you would have asked me 2 years back, I would have listed down 10 to 20. So yes, there are a lot
Okay.
many. Yes. So these are the three ways through which you can financially uh, you can get some financial aids.
All right. That's that's uh, that's very precise. So, what about the job prospects of such international master's program?
Okay. So the job prospects abroad are not the same way as they work out in India. In India, there will be companies who will be visiting our universities, but in abroad there will be job fairs which you will have to attend, and then you can get the jobs. So basically, after your if you are a course based master student, then generally in a year or so you will be completing your courses, and then for one year you will get time to actually go for internships. And while interning at some of the firms, you can actually get to continue there as a full-time employee rather than attending the job fairs. So that is one kind of job prospect which I got to know while researching about the job opportunities abroad. uh, if not, like as my case, my in my case I have to complete my thesis and my coursework in 2 years, so I won't be getting an opportunity to go for a job in between. So in that case, you, after your studies, you will get uh, some time wherein you can attend the job fair, but also if you are working under a good professor who has got a lot of connections, he can recommend you to one of the industries. So that is second kind of job prospect for the thesis based or the research based master students.
All right. So there are a lot of work permit and student visa limitations. Like for every country, they are different. So how you planning to deal with that?
uh, okay, so I have not yet thought about that with so much I didn't give so much consideration to that because my plans are a bit different. But I would just I would like to say that after your studies get completed, you get around 4 or 5 months wherein your study permit is still valid. Okay, so in that time you have to search for jobs, and if you are potential, which I guess mostly will be because you have got admitted in that university and a good university, so you can just utilize your skills and knowledge, and you can just go to the job fair and apply and just send as many applications as possible and try to get the employment.
All right, that's great. So we have come to the end of our interview. So finally, any suggestions for your juniors and future aspirants?
Oh, sure. So I would like to go one regarding the your preparation for admit for application and all. So it's regarding GRE. There are two advices which I would like to give for GRE. One, use the flashcard technique. It has helped me and it has helped lots of people to remember difficult vocabularies. So do use that flashcard technique. The second advice for GRE would be do make strategies. If you are not good at a particular section, then just try to practice as much as possible and understand which kind of questions are you good at. There is a proper set of questions for each type in each section, so you can understand, you can, by practicing you can understand that I'm good at this section, so you can get in the first stroke you can score well in that particular section. So make strategies for GRE exam. This is for GRE. Then, secondly, overall, to build your profile, I would just say start as early as possible, because the earlier you start, more you get to explore and more you get to introspect. Then, finally which field you have to choose. So that's the second thing. Then the third thing I will say is network as much as possible. Like LinkedIn and Twitter are like, they are the professional, they're treasures for professionals, so use them as much as possible, and they will help you. It helped me to build a good network and it will surely help you. And as I think you might have heard this uh, that you are the average of 5 people you spend the most time with. So yes, choose your group wisely, that I would say. And the last advice which I will give you is do not consider any kind of rejection as a setback as of now. Learn from those rejections, or you can say the negative messages which you can get. This is the time when you will be trying to send as many emails to the professors, or you might be trying to apply for many universities. So you can get a lot of negative emails, like might get rejected at some university, but don't take it as a setback. Just learn from it, because it will help you in the future for sure. And
All
just
right,
that.
yeah, that, that's amazing. That's an amazing advice. So it was a really great talking to you, and I really got to learn a lot more about procedure, and I'm pretty sure that it will help in my application as well. So thanks a lot for taking time out and doing this podcast with us.
The pleasure is all mine. Best of luck to everyone. Do well.